What's up, guys? I'm here with Ryan from NBA Live 16. So the first thing we talked about was some of the new mechanics. Originally was the dribble handoff mechanic and some of the shooting mechanics. Can you just go over that for a little bit for us?
Sure. We took a lot of feedback from our players last year, specifically around shooting. So I'll talk about that first. But we had some issues with just the feedback and the feel. So we revamped the whole shooting mechanic this year. You can release at any point in the jump shot. So you want to release early or late, or ideal you can, depending on the shooter you are. You may be highly rated, and you can make that early bucket. Also, from the user feedback side, we have a release meter that shows you the ideal release point, and then a bar on the right hand side that's going to tell you your likelihood. So we give you a certain percentage based on where you are in the court, how good of a shooter you are from there, and also if you're open, guarded, shooting off the dribble, many factors that kind of give players a higher percentage or a lower percentage. So trying to give you more information there. And when you miss the shot, we're going to give you some text to tell you what was the biggest impact to your shot. So if it was a late release that actually made you miss that shot, we're going to tell you that, and you can work on that next time down the court. In terms of the dribble handoffs, really that's just passing. So we want to improve our passing responsiveness. Dribble handoffs is one of them. It allows you to pick any player on your team, hold down the circle button on PS4, and basically call for that dribble handoff to come. So your player will come to you and you hand off that ball. That can create those mismatches and openings for you to take advantage of. Touch passing is the other big passing feature that we added this year, which allows you to move the ball around the perimeter much more faster. You can queue up your pass button to really just swing the ball. If you want to play like the Spurs, you can do that, and really just wait for that cutter to get open and swing him to pass. So those are some of the big improvements in passing.
Right, and I felt that, and it really smoothens out the gameplay to be able to anticipate your passes and kind of see the defense beyond the play that you're in right now.
Exactly.
So we talked to the rookies at the media day a couple weeks ago, and they were all worried about their ratings and they all telling me they didn't want to suck and this and that. So without naming any names, could you just talk a little bit about the process of the rankings that the players get and who actually is in charge of that?
Yeah, I mean we have guys on the team. It's sort of a group, right? We kind of ping all the basketball minds within the group, and we look at players and we look at different play styles and how that player ranks within that play style, and kind of come up with a number that makes sense. We also look at their stats and look at what happens throughout the season, so we can adjust that as the season goes on and guys' performance starts to change and they get better or they get worse. But really, it's there's one guy that's in charge of it, but it's more of a collective process for us.
Cool. And you talked a little bit about the live animation system.
Yeah, live motion.
Live motion animation system.
Yeah, live motion is basically our animation engine. We've been building this thing for 2 years. It's a physics-based movement, and what's happening is, we introduced physics in the paint last year, where if you were to, take it to the rack and collide, physics would play out, the ragdoll would play out, and you'd get more organic animation. You wouldn't be stuck in the animation. We've expanded that physics to off the ball. So as guys are making cuts and getting hit by screens and bumped, you're going to see guys swim, get guys caught up and slow down. All that physics is really giving you that physical play, showing you animation change, guys branching in and out animation, and just gives you more of a realistic experience because you're not seeing guys just slide because they're being bumped. They're actually reacting and swimming and doing all sorts of expected movement in that system. The other piece to that would be the AI that's happening within live motion. You're seeing a lot more movement and motion to try and create those opportunities to score. So you could literally go down the court, not even call a play, and your offense is going to be running motion and trying to get free and give you passing options. So, as a new user, new to the sport, we're trying to make it really easy to set you up for success and really, start to understand, fundamental basketball in a way. And then there's that layered depth where you can really start getting into the strategy with some of our other new features.
And with the other new features, you're talking about the modified screen game and how you can do so much, jumping your guy from one side of the screen to the other. Can you talk a little bit about how that's revamped?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite features. I love the screen and roll game, and basically it's the same as last year in terms of the mechanic where you're holding the left trigger or L2. You hold that and you can call for the screener. You can use your left stick to point to the people that you want to screen. So if I want a shooter to screen for me or the center to screen for me, I can. As you're holding it, you can basically move with your ball handler and your screener will rescreen for you. So if I don't like the first screen, I can move around and get him to rescreen again. Now the additional depth there is, if he's screening on my left side, I can let go of trigger hold it down again, and he's going to rescreen on the right side if that's where my strong hand is, right? And I can take that screen and go around him. The other really cool thing is you can dictate what your screen is going to do. So by clicking the left stick, I can tell my screener to either pop or roll. So if I know I've got a great shooter, say Dirk Nowitzki, he's setting a screen for me, I'm going to switch it to pop, and then I'm going to take that screen. And if they don't switch or cover him, I'm going to kick it back out to Dirk for an easy three. So a lot of depth there. Again, we'll have some videos and drills to teach you those new mechanics.
Really cool. And just look, we dug into one of the replays and we zoomed in real close on a couple of the players, and they look like some of the best players we've seen, like, across the board. Can you just talk about the new, like, how much you put into, like, actually getting it right, like you said, you know, like down to like the scruff on the face?
Oh yeah. I mean, we've been investing in the scanning tech for 2 years now, so we've scanned almost the entire league. And the cool thing is now we're able to really fine tune, you know, the lighting and the shaders and all that to really bring that scan to life. So we're enhancing that process to really give you a more realistic skin tone. The colors in the jersey are being scanned. The shoes again are being scanned. When you see the whole picture with the players, the crowd, the bench, the environment, it all looks like one cohesive scene, because, you know, we've really been able to really fine tune you know, the visuals there. So really happy with the way the players look, and even more so with the way the players move. So everything's really working well together.
And to take things even a step further, there's new audio features, you know, that you hear the players on the court talking to each other, and like that really makes it more immersive. Can you just talk a little bit about that and if that's a new feature? Yeah,
we've got a new feature basically enhancing our player chatter. So we did all new player chatter recordings this year. We mic'd up our mocap talent. We had games where they were playing 4-on-4 or 5-on-5, recreating scenarios like screen and roll. So, you know, if a guy's screening, you're telling your teammate, screen, 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 you're telling him screen left, or giving him indication so that he knows how to play that play and play defense. So in the game, you're going to hear that player chatter come through as another sort of audible piece of feedback to teach people, hey, he's open, pass to him, or hey, double, 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 this is a good player, so it's okay, I should hit the double team button. So it's that combined with all the visual feedback that's, again, trying to help our players understand the sport and be successful.
Absolutely. And finally, when we reached halftime here, we saw this really nice SportsCenter skin you guys have going on in a partnership with ESPN. Can you just talk a little bit about your work with them and the announcers you said, Van Gundy, and bringing her back? So
again, partnering with ESPN, you know, we love the broadcast package that they present. Really authentic, building on all the new graphics, bringing back Breen and Van Gundy for our you know, our speech. We're going to be recording with them throughout the season, you know, updating our speech there, which is going to be really cool and really relevant. We're also doing some interesting things with our pregame to just give you more of that broadcast look. The camera movement's going to be more realistic. You know, we're going to have a ton of stuff, even with the dead ball stories, which are really interesting. As you play the game, there's going to be, you know, dead ball stories that trigger based on what your player is doing. So if you're hot from the three-point line, it may trigger a replay, and Breen and Van Gundy are going to talk about that replay and how great you've been shooting from the three. Or if there's been a lot of turnovers, it may trigger a turnover story. So again, we're trying to give you this really nice presentation flow to help tell the story of the game, and we love working with them. We've sat in on broadcasts at real games to really study what they do as a production team and how they present the game, and try to really represent that in our game. One thing I want to add too is just we never really got to talk about was the HD scanning app. So at E3 we premiered this mobile app that's going to allow you to scan your face and put it in the game, and it's going to be a really seamless user experience that allows you to get the best looking face possible. The cool thing is because it's on your mobile phone, it's really accessible. So cool. I can get into a really good lighting condition and get a good scan, and that's, again, once we talk about some of the new modes within our game in the summer, that create a player feature is going to be a big part of it.
You guys got so much going on. It's awesome.
Ton going on. So really excited.
Looks great and it feels great, and man, good luck with it, and thanks so much for your time.
Thanks.
And for more content like this, head over to Shacknews.com.